Thank you so much. Thanks for staying here too late. I'm going to talk about a campaign we have that is called Sharing is Not a Crime. You've already heard, I'm Carolina Botero from Charisma Foundation, but today I will talk about something that's happening in my country. For those of you who need to remind the America's map, Colombia is over there, and we have a very tough approach to copyright. I'm going to talk today about Diego Gomez. Diego is almost 30-year-old biologist, and when as a student, he did something we all do, and because of that, he's been prosecuted for copyright infringement, and he can have 4 to 8 years of jail. He just shared information for educational purposes. I will tell you a bit more about that later, but I want to talk a bit more about why he's facing this. Well, Colombia is a derecho de autor or droit of autor jurisdiction. We have no fair use, no fair dealing. Instead, a closed list of exceptions and limitations that tells you what you can do, or you can more what you can do, very limited under the copyright. We have a very long period of protection. In Colombia, it's 80 years. We just follow Mexico. Mexico is like the toughest with 100 years protection. Colombia has 80 years. And if we go on and on, like yesterday, someone was talking about how the first, they said it in the European sense, but the American first sale doctrine in Colombia, that doesn't exist. So libraries are pirates because they lend books. There's no way you can buy, legally, secondhand books couldn't be sold in Colombia because we have not implemented that. So, of course, there are libraries, there are secondhand sales books, and of course we are a Latin American pirate country. So there's not much enforcement, but still in the law, there's many things we couldn't do. We are so tough that when discussing, for instance, the development agenda at WIPO, it's been 3 times that Colombia has said that we shouldn't be discussing public domain. That public domain is something that goes into the realm of privates. It shouldn't be done or promoted by the countries. And moreover, if we go to the criminal law, there's been an increase, and there's been a reform on criminal law that increased the penalty in 2009. For instance, this is in Spanish, but what it says there in the red part is the rape of a minor will have a penalty of 3 to 6 years. Copyright infringement is 4 to 8 years. That shows you how much we care about copyright infringement. This, of course, goes also hand in hand with the fact that in the description of the crime of copyright infringement, has international standards that wants you to tackle the piracy problem. But in Colombia, it has not those elements. So just by reading the law, you would say that any copyright infringement, any economical infringement to copyright will deserve such penalty. So now going into Diego's case, Diego, since the university was very much interested in biodiversity issues. Colombia is the 2nd country on biodiversity. That means that for every square meter, there's there are the most number of animals that live there. The first country is Brazil. Colombia has the 2nd place. And he is interested in that kind of things, especially small frogs. It has a name I wouldn't repeat in Spanish, but it's called something like herpetología, what he likes. And by being a student, he formed a group of study on that with other students. And in 2009, he found on a closed group of Facebook a thesis that somebody has written in 2006 on a master's degree for a master's degree at the public university in Colombia, the main public university in Colombia called National University. He found it because somebody shared it in a closed group in Facebook. He thought this is just perfect for my study group, because he was from a very small city in Colombia called Armenia, and he thought I'll just upload it. 2009, very bad connections, internet, especially emails, you couldn't send big files, so he just uploaded to Script, sent the link, and forgot about it. 2011, he was already left to Costa Rica to study his master's degree, and a police appeared into his parents' house asking for Diego. The father said he's not here, he's in Costa Rica. Said, okay, I want to see the computer. They showed the computer, he got in, he looked, and he got all the proofs to show that he has uploaded this document. The author has presented a complaint saying that somebody has been infringing his copyright by uploading this document into the internet. By December 2013, the prosecutor presented his case before a judge who decided that there was reasons to believe that he could be committing copyright infringement. It has taken more than 3 years. 2 or 3 months ago, May this year, he was declared non-guilty. First instance, non-guilty. The author and the prosecutor announced an appeal. Finally, the only one who presented the appeal was the author. So we are right now his case is in the Tribunal of Bogota, waiting for this second decision. It's been almost 4 years with a huge, you could see how he has changed in that time. He was previously totally naive about copyright, and now he's one of the most important supporters of open access in Latin America. This is especially important for me today, and I would like to mention it as a bit of a side of this presentation, because I just learned that while I was traveling here on the 27th day before, Horacio Potel just died. For those of you who doesn't know Horacio Potel, we know a lot about Aaron Schwartz and many others that had been facing criminal charge for copyright. Horacio Potel was the first one in Latin America. He was a philosophy professor who in the 90s typed and translated many of the books of Nietzsche, Heidegger, and Derrida. And for that, he faced a criminal charge about 4 or 5 years ago during 2 years, until a judge in Argentina decided no economic gain, no intention to make it a piracy problem, and he was declared not guilty. I just wanted to remind him because he just died, and I think those are the kind of cases we don't hear very much. It is interesting on words of Diego. He said, copyright assumes market logics away from the central purposes in scientific research, which is to publicize and multiply knowledge for human development. What I find especially important in this case, for instance, compared to Horacio Potel, is Horacio Potel was prosecuted by the publisher. Diego is being prosecuted because of a claim from the author, who's another biologist, on a topic, a very Colombian topic, small frogs in Colombia, on a matter that is very local. Things that we thought would never happen, but there he is facing this case. So he's become an advocate for open access, and we choose to move the campaign towards open access. We believe that if open access was the default, cases like Diego, at least with the characteristics I'm telling you, would not happen. Of course, we need also to fix the law and everything, but I think that Diego's case fits exactly into what one defines as scientific knowledge and the idea of sharing and pushing science as a tool for development. another thing that strikes from Diego's case is the fact that he's been prosecuted for something we all do every day. So the problem right now with criminal law, in Colombia at least, is that it is not clear that what it is pursuing or is trying to prevent is piracy, and end up with the possibility of jailing people for doing what we all do every day. That's why we thought open access was a good idea, and by doing so, and in this discussion, we've been supported by many other organizations that have been helping Diego and also raising the awareness on open access issues. Finally, the cost of the legal representation and everything has been quite a burden. We've been assuming from Charisma many of those costs, but right now the appeal is costly, and if we have to go to the next step, because Colombia has a system similar to the French system, so if we lose or if we won, there's still another layer which is called cassation in French, and that one will be even more costly. So we have a crowdfunding campaign in case any of you want to help. It's in generosity, and we are very much willing to accept donations. Jimmy Wales just said that he will put $500 if we match those $500. So any dollar you can support us with will be great. That's about it. I just wanted to bring the face of somebody that can show you the effect that having non-balanced copyright law could have in the life of people. Thank you very much.